Appreciate next CY interview covering Las Vegas and the world. Today we welcome on actress, reality star, podcaster, and everything else of entertainment, the one, the only Melyssa Ford. Miss Ford, thanks so much for being on CY interview today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So just to begin, how did it feel to do this movie?
This movie was fantastic. I didn't let my agent tell me anything about it. She just sent me the script and said, this production company is very interested in you for a role. I said, send the script immediately. And so I read the name Hunting Housewives, and I was like, what? And so I read the script, I think inside of 2 hours. I could not put it down. It was so good. I hit my agent back. I said, where do I have to audition? What's happening? I need this role. I want it. Tell them yes, 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 and yes. And it just ended up that it was filming in my hometown of Toronto, on the outskirts of Toronto, but I'm originally from Toronto, Canada.
Yep.
Just made it even great. I was able to see friends and family while we filmed, and the experience was just fantastic. Brain Power, the production company, my cast, Denise, Nini, Kim, our director Marco. It was just so great. I can't speak highly enough about the whole experience.
Well, I think most people think of you first, of course, as a model, a pinup girl, reality star, but you've done a lot of acting in your career. So what does it always feel like when you get to do the acting portion?
It feels validating, honestly.
I imagine.
Beauty is very like, well, congratulations on your face, but that's, God, genetics, and your parents kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it always feels, there's always a sense of kind of like, you know, um, imposter syndrome that kind of permeates around you when it comes to people just kind of like, um, you know, congratulating you on that aspect of your career. At least speaking, personally. But for when it comes to acting, there's just more of a sense of validation there. Somebody recognized your talent. They saw it. They liked it. They invited you back. Um, they wanted to see more of you. They trusted you with the material. Because really, honestly, acting starts off as just words on paper kind of thing, and it's all up to you and your interpretation of those words to make it amazing. So it just, I love it. I really, really, I'm having the best time of my life. Acting, and the fact that it's a Lifetime movie, holy cow! I'm so like over the moon.
We'll get back to that in a minute, but I just want to kind of segue for a minute because I had something I was going to mention later in the CY interview, but we're going to just touch on it now. I've always thought you were a person of substance, someone who likes reading books, being in the know about current events. Do you feel like you've never gotten credit for who you are as a person because the surface has been focused on way too much? I've always thought that.
Yes, but I think that happens with you know pretty women. I think that's the curse, the gift and the curse. I think that's part of the curse that people talk about, is that you people want you to be who they want you to be, and if they want to see you as in a one-dimensional manner, and they're like, I don't want to know anything else about you. I want to see what I see, and I want to know that much about you. But anything else will just kind of like make my circuits start to like fray and whatnot. So very on like you don't really get um I guess validated for being, or acknowledged for being like a fully formed human being, three-dimensional with you know other really wonderful things about you other than just the surface.
You have a lot of other wonderful things about you, and I think that's unfortunately what a lot of people have missed over your career, unfortunately. Because I love talking with you about current events and social issues. I mean, to me, that would be more interesting, obviously. So, just getting back to it and moving forward, a lot of suspense in this Lifetime movie. Thoughts? Not your normal Lifetime movie.
I know, that was what me and the girls were talking about, is that Lifetime just kind of seems to be venturing in a different direction. This is a comedy, but it is also very suspenseful. There's a lot of action that takes place in it. And I think that, I love it. I love the fact that this is not a typical Lifetime movie. And I love the fact that I'm getting to participate in something that is, outside of the box that they usually kind of like operate in. I'm so excited to see what their, what their diehard audience, thinks and feels about this film.
So tell me about what it was like to work with Denise Richards, Nene Leakes, and Kim Johnson on this picture.
A dream come true. Honestly, I would say that the majority of my scenes are with Denise. And Denise Richards is incredible. She is one of the most generous, like down to earth, real people I've ever met. She's wildly funny. She's unapologetic. I just like her so much. Me and her and Kim were talking yesterday about just like the instant kind of communicate, like, chemistry that we had on set. It was really, 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 really fantastic. Nene, I've met Nene several times outside of the movie,
No
filming.
surprise.
Yeah, and she's just amazing. She's Nene Leakes, like she's an adjective and a verb all at the same time. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to film with her. Kim filmed with her because a lot of her scenes are, their scenes are done together. So I didn't get a chance to film with her. I was really looking forward to it, but I know her outside of the film, and she's just an amazing human being. But I can't say enough about
Well,
Nene.
well, speaking about the acting, you had mentioned on the Joe Budden podcast, you're going after this media run to film another movie, Lifetime, something else. What can you tell me?
Well, it is a thriller. It's not a comedy at all. It's a thriller. And God, I don't know how much I can actually say about it, other than it films in Canada again. So that's fantastic. I'm filming for 3 weeks. I was talking to my stunt coordinator. So there is action sequences that I'm going to be participating in. And I'm really looking forward to it because the character that I'm playing is so far removed from anything. Like, she's a musician. I can't play anything. She's a singer. I sing in the shower, and that's the only place you'll ever hear me singing. So I will literally be acting like a singer and a performer. So I'm really looking forward to that challenge. I think that's all I can say.
Well, I think what we should note about, if anyone has followed your career, I'm going to sum it up in this way. You're an absolute survivor. There's just no denying it that you are an absolute survivor through everything you've been through. Obviously, the traumatic car crash a few years ago. Your mother passed away a couple of years ago. Your friend Daisy from Blood, Sweat, and Heels passed away a couple of years ago. But through it all, you're on a podcast with more than 1 million subscribers. You're in this Lifetime movie. You're everywhere still doing it. And I just wonder, like, what has motivated you all of these years to keep going in spite of it all, in spite of all of the negativity, in spite of all of the challenges that you have gone through?
Having very supportive friends really does work. Therapy works as well. And then just also feeling like, when my friend Daisy passed away, she passed away at the age of 36 from a very curable form of cancer, but I guess it just had metastasized, and she didn't really tell anybody that had happened and that her time was so limited. And I went to her funeral, and just the celebration of her life was so enormous. Like, the church had 2 levels, and it was filled, and the line of people that wanted to get up.
Do you ever think that you will write a book about your life, because you absolutely have an original story?
Yes. I'm actually in the process of figuring out what the outline would be. I've struggled with this a lot because, I think a lot of people feel like when somebody writes a book, there's got to be some salacious tell-all aspect to it. And I am not comfortable with that at all. There's certain things about my life that I feel like are private, and I don't want to put them in a book because they're not meant for public consumption. But I do feel like there's aspects of my life and my story that can benefit a lot of other people. Just the my experience with grief after having lost my mother. I lost my father when I was 16 years old. So the grief was very different as a teenager and then as a grown woman. So I feel like I have a lot of experiences because I journaled a lot during that time, writing my thoughts and writing my feelings and emotions and processing and, going through therapy. Also the experience of my car accident and, just the concept of, who you were before a traumatic event and who you are after, and the whole mourning process um, of who you had to let go of being and who you have to become in order to keep on moving forward. I think that these are extremely valuable lessons about the human experience that I have very, very, very recent practical experience with that I can share with people. So, I feel like my book would just really be like a tale of perseverance through the most extreme circumstances.
I agree. Four more for you. What is your advice to young women these days? I feel like a lot can be learned from you.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and most people think that the young learn from the older or the old, but every once in a while, it's the reverse. And what I am learning from this younger generation of women is self-advocacy, because they are not having it. They will not be inconvenienced for anything. So they do a whole lot of boundary setting and self-advocacy that has been very, very difficult for me to learn. So that's one thing I'm learning from them. But for them to learn from me, what advice that I can give them is, my mind just got flooded with a bunch of stuff like, take care of yourself kind of thing. I don't know, just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's my answer for everything, honestly, you know? And that's really my answer for everything is breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Therapy is a necessity. It's as necessary as being in the gym. Health is wealth. All of these kind of cliches that the older that you get, the more you realize they're more than cliches. They're actually just like they're like the functions of like a life well lived. So that would be what I'd have to tell them.
I agree with you. So, speaking about the younger generation of Hollywood, you really seem to be inspired by what Zendaya is doing in Hollywood. Do you relate to her thoughts? You've said some great things about her on the Joe Bunn podcast.
Zendaya is a one of one. She is just such a spectacular young woman. Her talent is undeniable. I mean, wow. But just her grace and composure, her sense of dignity, just she is amazing. Like she is just amazing. She's so I'm the cliche of like mature beyond her years definitely applies. She's like a wonder. You know what I mean? Like her parent. I mean, I'll give it to her parents, and because if that was their doing, they raised an exceptional human being. I won't even say woman, just a exceptional human being. And I'm just looking forward to seeing like just everything that she's got to give to humanity, to the acting industry, to entertainment, and then just the legacy that she's creating for herself and that she's going to leave. She's spectacular. I just love her.
Oh, I agree. So three more. I didn't start watching the Joe Bunn podcast till you started being on there, and I always enjoy your opinions. I just wonder what it's like for you to navigate these, 2.5 to 3 hours every week with these men. I think sometimes they talk over you, or sometimes I feel like you're marginalized, and I don't think it's fair. Do you ever feel like, I mean, you've been through so much in your life, so maybe you're just used to dealing with that kind of stuff, but I feel like sometimes that you're not given the full chance to truly express what you feel. Do you feel that sometimes?
I think that, when I came onto Joe's podcast, I felt like there was going to be some people that regarded me as like an interloper, and that I didn't really belong because it's a dude cast, and some people just kind of got used to it being that it's a dude cast. Sometimes they have women on, but for the most part it's just about men and their sense of kind of community and bonding and the locker room talk, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But having a woman on consistently does add an aspect to the show that just can't be achieved with just like a bunch of guys. And I think that naturally men walk through the world like there's a wake in front of them, because the world is structured for men. That's what patriarchy is. And so men don't naturally defer to women because the world doesn't teach them that that's what they have to do or that they even should do. And so by me being on the show and me being a woman who has, who's lived an extraordinary life and who has an enormous amount of life experience to
Absolutely.
pull from, and she's saucy, and she's got her own opinion. She got strong opinions and strong convictions and strong takes on things. I think that it has been a social experiment. It's been an experience for everybody to kind of learn from. I will say I think that they are getting a lot better at saying, well, Mel, what do you think? Let's hear what you have to say on this situation. And I appreciate them for it. Growth wherever we could take it.
Oh, I agree. So, I'm a big believer in love, Miss Ford. I've traveled across the world for love. True story. Do you think you'll ever get married someday, or is it just being with someone to have positive and fulfilling times for you at this point? Like, what are you? How's it going? Are you happy?
I am happy. I am very happy. Just, the life that I've made for myself. I'm very, very happy. I'm a homeowner. I run
Yep.
a successful business. I'm being booked for movies right now. So I'm being validated in so many aspects of my life that I've worked really, really hard for. These are really like, moments that are very fulfilling. But love is a completely different thing. And I'd love to find my person, but I will not just take a relationship for the sake of just being in one. I'm too happy on my own, and my life is too full. So unless I find the person that complements my life and vice versa, where we just kind of blend with ease, I'm not going to force things. I will travel for love. I will travel to go find.
I've traveled to Africa for love.
Oh wow, yeah. Hey, I've been planning some trips with a girlfriend to go to Ghana, so cross your fingers. Maybe it might.
Mauritius and Kenya here over this way. I don't know if you've been to either, but Malindi, Kenya, Watamu, Kenya, beach resort town, very much kind of like Key West, Florida. Look it up. I think you'll find it's amazing if you've never heard of it before.
I,
So,
I definitely will. I'm planning to travel the entire year of my 50th year, which is like a few years from now. So I am literally going to pack up all of my things into storage. And the house that I bought, it's an investment house, so I don't live in there. And I'm just going to travel like for the entire year, very much on some Eat, Pray, Love vibes.
I look forward to seeing all the stories on your Instagram. There's no denying that. So finally, Melyssa Ford, thank you so much for joining us. Hunting Housewives this Saturday, Lifetime, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. CYInterviews, though we cover things worldwide, presidential candidates, Hollywood, everything. We are Las Vegas's fastest growing media outlet. So any stories while you've been here in Las Vegas? I'd love to hear them. Anything you can share.
Hey, listen, I'll say something. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, honey. It would stay that way.
Crazy parties, I imagine, with the likes of Floyd Mayweather and other people, no?
Oof. Yeah, yeah. All-Star weekend, concerts, and just Vegas. Just Vegas on its own is wow.
Well, I live right here to the west, and you can literally see the Bellagio from my kitchen window, basically right here, where we're doing this from our studios today in my home. So thank you, Melyssa Ford. I wanted to have you on CYInterview for many years, and thanks so much for joining us. I wish you the best, and just in closing, you are a survivor. We should give you an award for that. You have kept going, and you are an inspiration. So I really do hope you write a book one day, though, because I think what you've gone through in the last 10 years, most people would not be able to bounce back from. They wouldn't be in a Lifetime movie. They wouldn't be on a podcast with over 1 million people, and they wouldn't still be one of the relevant voices in entertainment media, which you are today. So you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you very much. I that. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Some of us do realize it, Ms. Ford. Thank you so much for being on CYInterview today.
Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for watching today's CYInterview segment from Las Vegas. Please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button to be updated on all future CYInterview content from Las Vegas and beyond.